Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network with Dave Stewart. I'm Rob Adams, Donald Eng, Monroe currying today, but we've got plenty of playoffs to talk about. Yes, playoffs as we get into the playoff season in the FCAC and beyond. And Dave, off and running we go. The weather did not help us last night as we start there. Now, we'll get to boys basketball, but girls basketball, look, I don't know what it was like down here. I can tell you what it was like up near me. I never slipped the whole way. So I don't want to second guess. I just wish we had played the games last night. I'll leave it at that.
It would have been nice. What I always look at when I look at the weather forecast, if Ridgefield or Danbury is involved in something and they've got to travel, that's usually the place where it gets the worst in terms of weather. Being inland and everything. So, I guess they played it safe.
Yeah,
canceled early, and it was the school systems. Once the school systems cancel, that's it. Games are over. They've got to postpone them. So.
Yep. So they erred on the side of caution. The girls basketball playoffs are tonight now, the semifinals, as are the girls ice hockey semifinals. We'll get to that in a little bit. We'll have Jamie Tropsa on, the head coach of Darien. We'll see Darien later tonight. But all that being said, let us move on to boys basketball. That's where I want to get things started because, well, you need an abacus and probably a blender to make it all work.
What a mess.
It
really is. It's just there's 11 teams or 10 teams that are vying for 8 spots. 5 spots are taken. You've got Danbury is in, Trumbull's in, Stanford's in, Ward's in, and Wilton is in. They have a 9-6 record, which is the same as West Hill and Ridgefield, who technically haven't clinched at this point. Reason they're in, though, is they have so many tiebreakers against the teams they could end up in multiple team ties with that they have clinched. You're going to get to a point where they have to get in. Anybody could fall in seedings right now. So these last games today will be important. And, of course, we have some big ones, especially with Ludlow playing McMahon. The loser is definitely out. The winner isn't necessarily in because of tiebreakers. So you got to win and hope,
And you get a look on the screen right now that tells you all you need to know. Greenwich lost to both Ludlow and McMahon, and yet there's still this chance Greenwich can somehow make some noise.
Yes, they can. And, they actually would benefit from Ridgefield losing and Ludlow winning. If they end up in a 3-way tie with that, it'll work in their favor.
All right.
So that's one way in for Greenwich. That might be the only way in, but there's so many different ways. I can't say that I was able to go through all of them. But it really is amazing when you look at it. You've got 7 teams that have 6 or 7 losses in the FCAC right now, and it's just crazy.
And we knew it would be. The quarterfinals will be this Saturday, I believe. Are they still at Fairfield Ward for the quarterfinals?
Yes.
They are, okay. Quarterfinal, well, then basically all the playoffs are at Fairfield Ward for boys basketball. It will be a fun run. We will have the semifinals and the finals, of course, weather permitting. We'll have it for you here on the HAN Network. So certainly all that will be going on, and we'll keep an eye on them on Saturday. We'll have a hockey triple header on Saturday, beginning with the Girls Hockey Championship at 12:50, followed by the 2 quarterfinal games scheduled for 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So you get your money's worth if you come down to Terry Connors Rink in Stamford. It will be a busy day down there. But for boys basketball, I think as we get ready to go into that tournament, it's almost anybody's tournament to be had.
I think so, and I just want to make a correction. I said Ward. It's actually at Ludlow for the quarterfinals and Ward for the last 2 rounds. But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean,
now that's a change to have it at Ludlow. It used to be all at Ward.
Yes, they like to do all 4 of those games. It's quite a day when you go to those things because if you're a basketball fan, it's just great games. They've had 1-8 upsets in that tournament numerous times. So that's a lot of fun, but that is a change. They used to do it all at Ward, and they do Ward the first round, and they've switched it up. Now last year the finals, when you had West Hill and Norwalk, it was a packed house at Ward, and they actually had to keep people out.
I remember.
They had to stop letting people in, and so you wonder how it's going to pan out this year. Of course, it depends on what the matchup is, but at this point, like you said, it could be anybody.
Yes, could definitely.
You could see the 8 seed sneaking in and doing some damage.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I think it's going to be a fun tournament to watch. And again, we'll have the semis and the championship. Now, all that will take place at Ward. The quarters will be at Ludlow, just to clarify. Both gyms are good, by the way. If you've never been to them, either one of them, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I think Ludlow, Dave Schultz and Ludlow do a great job of hosting, and the basketball tournaments at Ward have just been incredible over the years. So, they both do a great job.
There are subtle differences between the two gyms. For Ward, they've got basically the same amount of seating on each side, while Ludlow has one big side that almost climbs up, almost to a point that you have obstructed view up high, because that's kind of what it's like up there. And then they've got seating in the wings at the ends, so that's kind of cool about Ludlow, but Ward has the true traditional, both sets of bleachers break out. So either way, you can't go wrong. It does always open up that question to me, and I love Seth Fry and I love Fairfield Ward, but I would still just be thrilled to see these games go to a Sacred Heart or go to a Webster Bank, or an arena that has a hair more gravitas, and that's no disrespect. I just want to see them go to bigger arenas that aren't high school arenas. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
I mean no disrespect to any of the high schools.
Well, I think if they get crowds like they did last year, they might have to consider that, because if you're turning people away, obviously there's a draw there, and you don't want to. The last thing you want to do is turn people away. That's a worst case scenario.
Yeah, it wasn't all that long ago that Greenwich and Harding actually played a championship game, and they played it at Sacred Heart. It was pretty cool. So,
and I believe they've done games at Webster Bank too. A couple of years ago they did them. They did, I think, 2 years in a row they did them there, and not sure why they went away from that, but
I'm sure it's it's got to be a matter of dollars and cents. Has to be.
I would think it would be. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not positive about that, but that would usually be the case.
I would think that would be the case. So it'll be a great tournament either way. We've been saying it all along. In my mind, anyone can be up for it. I know Danbury has gone in as kind of the hot hand, but you know what? I wouldn't be betting against Trumbull either. That's a very good basketball team.
They're a solid, good, fundamental team, and they have weapons. And they have Jack Moore, who's playing great this season. So they have a go-to guy, but they have so many different weapons, and they play such good basic basketball that they would be tough to beat. They're tough. They're a tough team to beat if they're on their game and you're not, and you start making a few mistakes, which is always possible. We've talked about Danbury before in that they have immense talent out there, but they do play a little out of control at times, and that can come back to haunt them.
Is it crazy to ask if this is the best team Buddy Bray has had?
Boy, he's been there for a long time, so that would be a tough call. But they'd have to be right up there at this point when you're looking at the records.
Yeah,
go by records. Yeah,
that's certainly worth talking about. All right, let's go to girls basketball semifinals tonight at Ludlow. As a matter of fact, two good games in my mind. I like both of these matchups. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays chalk, but I think they're two good games regardless.
Well, I think the top 5 seeds, got to throw Greenwich in there, and they had a tough time in the quarterfinals, but the top 5 seeds were all great in the FCAC, and I think that you'll see them making noise in the States. But yeah, I think these games are, Ward has the number 1 seed. They've only lost to Stanford, which is a possible finals matchup, which would be great. And you wonder if that's what Ward wants, but any of these teams, I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these teams win. It's the playoffs, and all you got to do is win one game, and you've got the momentum on your side, and so that's saying any struggles you might have had down the stretch, they go out the window as soon as you win one game in the playoffs. I
mean, the idea, and you're looking at Shania Osborne right now. She was just on the screen a moment ago. The idea of Shania Osborne versus Tiana England for the conference championship. I'm not rooting one way or another, but I am going to tell you that is a very inviting matchup.
That would be really cool. You've got the star power, so to speak, there. The one thing I'd say is last year people were not looking at Ridgefield as being a team to win it, and they ended up catching fire, and they got in, and you never know. They looked great against Greenwich on Saturday, so maybe it's their time again.
And Greenwich has not figured out how to beat Ridgefield. That is intriguing what's going on there.
And that happens. You get a thing going with a team where some teams you have it over, and some teams you just can't figure out a way to beat. And we were talking about that with Greenwich ice hockey finally beating Darien last week. That's a big plus for them, but Greenwich girls basketball hasn't been able to do that against Ridgefield yet.
So we're going to keep an eye on both of those games tonight. We'll certainly have the Twitter running, so we'll keep an eye on it.
Put it in the tweeter.
Yeah, put it in the tweeter for sure, and we'll keep reporting those scores. We will have the girls ice hockey games, and that's where we'll get to Jamie Tropsa in a moment and what we expect to see over at the Darien Ice Rink tonight. And from the overall viewpoint, you kind of look at these games and go, oh, aren't we just setting ourselves up for New Canaan and Darien?
It sure looks that way. Just given the way New Canaan has handled Ridgefield twice this year, traditionally, Ridgefield has given New Canaan some trouble. In fact, they eliminated them last year in the semifinals.
That's right.
So there's that going for them. But just the way New Canaan handled Ridgefield, I think they'll do it again. And Stanford, Claire Parry's a great goalie, and a goalie is a game changer sometimes.
Yes.
And she did give Darien a lot of trouble the first time. Darien won that game 1-0 against Stanford, but then the second game was a 7-0, 6-0, 7-0 blowout. So they kind of solved her there, but you never know. You got to play the games.
Let's get our thoughts together, and when we come back, we will dive a little more in-depth talking about girls ice hockey. We'll do that when we come back right after this. You're watching Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
The 2016 FCAC playoffs are coming to the HAN Network. We'll have all of the big games beginning February 23rd on the court and on the ice. And we'll have it all live and streaming HD. This is your home for the 2016 FCAC Winter Championships. The HAN Network. Back with you on Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network with Dave Stewart. As it is Wednesday, I'm Rob Adams. Happy you're along with us. We have girls hockey tonight. 2 games, in fact, doubleheader action, the semifinals as we get lined up for the championship this Saturday. And joining us on the phone now is the head coach of the Darien Blue Wave, Jamie Tropsa. Jamie, Rob, and Dave, how are you?
Good. Everything's good. A little wet outside, but everything's good. Thanks. How about you guys?
Boy, you're right. It is pouring rain outside and kind of dangerously, to be honest with you. So take it easy on the roads if you're out there right now. But we're doing okay. Good to talk to you, Jamie.
Thanks for having me.
We're glad the games are indoors,
That's for sure.
What's that? Sorry.
It's so true.
Tell me your thoughts now. Regular season's over. How has the team shifted gears? What have you guys been working on the last few days?
Well, the last few days, we've been working a lot on special teams. I think that could be a big key going down the road here. But we're trying to stay focused on one shift at a time and one game at a time. So, we have a tough Stanford team tonight, and we have to come focused and aware of what's going on around us, and hopefully things can go our way. They have a great goaltender in Claire Parry. They also have a couple dangerous forwards and 2 very good defensemen, too. So we're trying not to look past tonight, that's for sure.
The first time you played them, I know Claire Parry had a great game. She's an awesome goalie, and you beat them 1-0, I think, on a power play goal down at Terry Connors. Second time you played him, 7-0, so obviously not as much trouble there. What was the big difference to the second game?
The big difference in the second game was we took advantage of our opportunities. In that first game, we definitely had a few really good chances to score. I think in that game we hit at least 3 or 4 posts, and we just didn't capitalize, and we had to get better in that in the second game. We definitely took care of that. But, I'm expecting a very, very similar game tonight. Claire's always comes ready to play our kids. She knows a lot of them, and she would love to knock us off, and that's for sure, But that's pretty much as simple as we're trying to keep it, bear down. When you get a good chance, we got to capitalize, and that's as simple as it is.
Jamie, you're not, as a coach, you're obviously focusing on what's going on the ice. But at the same time, for me as an observer, as a broadcaster, I love to see a good crowd, and I love to see the girls get the respect that they deserve. Do you think there will be people in the building tonight for these games?
I think so. I think New Canaan draws very well. Ridgefield has always drawn well. So I think Gary Ann's going to support their girls tonight, so I believe there's going to be a good crowd. With the weather, that may hinder it a little bit, but I'm looking forward to a good crowd there, that's for sure.
I got to ask you, because one of your players, Georgia Cassidy, of course, has had a great career, and we just went over the 200-point mark recently, over the last few weeks, I believe. What is it about her that makes her a special player?
She's a very determined young lady. She really, really works hard. She's got a lot of talent, and she stays very, very focused. I mean, there's very few people I've had the opportunity to coach that work as hard as she does every day. She's just a very unique individual. I mean, you see it in field hockey, how successful she was there. And she definitely brings that to the ice rink. So it's going to be a big loss for girls ice hockey in Connecticut, losing her next season.
Yeah, she's been incredible. I mean, she did it from day one too. She's been really a lot of fun to watch, and I'm seeing a lot of it from the other side, of course, being in New Canaan. But she's fun. She's a fun player to watch.
Jamie, you talked about.
It's going to be a unique.
Go ahead.
It's going to be a unique season next year for a lot of teams. New Canaan loses some highly skilled players. Darien does, so it's going to be a different product on the ice next year. I think teams are getting deeper, but when you lose Mia Carrolls and Catherine Granitos and Georgia Cassidy's and Chandler Kirby's, it's going to be a different product next year. That's for sure.
Jamie, what I started to bring up was that you mentioned Claire Perry, the Stanford goaltender, and at this time of year, and I don't care what level you're at, college, high school, the NHL, the AHL, you always need that goalie in net that you can ride to a championship, and you've got a really good one in Emily Giannunzio.
Without a doubt, Emily doesn't get the credit she deserves because very few teams get a lot of shots on us. She's an outstanding goalie. And she's made our forwards better just from practice against her every day. And a lot of people don't understand that. Emily is outstanding, and hopefully this playoff season she'll have a chance to shine and get some, respect that she definitely deserves.
Yeah, I saw her in that second New Canaan game. She was incredible in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, she made some big saves when we needed them. That's for sure.
I know you're focused on Stanford now, but obviously, it's a quick 2 weeks for you guys because you're playing. You're gonna play. Hopefully for you, you'll play twice in the FCX and then 3 games in the States. 5 games in less than 2 weeks, really, and it's all over. What's this time of year like for the team? Is it is it hectic?
It's very hectic. We had a hectic week 2 weeks ago, too, where we played 6 games in 9 days, but a couple of them because of reschedules because of weather. But, it's definitely a hectic time of year. We kind of changed up the way we run practice. and hopefully these girls have enough fuel in the tank to finish the season off strong.
It seems like, Jamie, that you and the Blue Wave are destined to see the team up the road in the red and black with the Rams on the sweater. I know there are games to be played, but it just seems like the two teams are on a collision course. Obviously, you can't pay any attention to that. Your girls can't pay any attention to that. But does it play into the back of your mind at all?
Without a doubt. I mean, and the girls, they know each other with social media. I'm sure they're saying stuff back and forth to each other, and hopefully it's a very exciting finish. And the rivalry itself between New Canaan and Darien is always there. That never goes away. It seems like in every sport. So we would love the chance to play them again. Hopefully we will.
Great stuff, Jamie, as always. We'll see you down there in a little while, and good luck to you and the Blue Wave. And like I said, we'll see you later.
All right, thanks for having me on, and talk to you guys soon.
All right,
thanks,
anytime, Jamie. Thanks so much. Jamie Tropsa, the head girls hockey coach down at Darien High School with the Blue Wave. I don't want to press them too much on the topic of seeing New Canaan. Of course, we know it's there. They could see each other 4 times before this is over.
Yeah, they've had 2 great games already, which first one was 3-2. Where New Canaan rallied from a 2-0 deficit, tied it, and then Georgia Cassidy scores to win it. And then the second game was 3-1, but that's essentially a 1-goal game because there was an empty netter at the end. So, I mean, the 2 tough games. And Gia Nunzio was great in that second game especially. She really stifled New Canaan, which kind of came in with some momentum carrying it over from the way they played in the third period the first time.
And on the other side for Rich Buellin and New Canaan, they have a nice situation with 2 goaltenders, both very capable goaltenders. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get that true, and these are girls I'm talking about, so I'm trying to use different terminology, real solid netminders is the way I'll explain it in this case. In New Canaan's case, you've got a couple of very good ones as well.
Yeah, and actually, the freshman, Amanda Hill, will probably be doing most of the playing right now because Sarah Street is actually out with an injury, but this just happened recently, so she's a sophomore, and she's been solid too. We may see her in the States at some point, but for the FCX, I think you'll see Amanda Hill in both games, and she's the freshman, and she's really come onto the scene and just looked great.
Gives New Canaan a lot of reason to be excited. So we will see all of them later on tonight, all 4 teams. Stanford West Hill Staples is 1 game along with Darien, and then Ridgefield and New Canaan as well. Ridgefield and New Canaan will get us started a little, just around 6 o'clock to be exact. There's the exact times for you. We'll be on the air right around 5:55 from the Darien Ice Rink. And might I say, and I can say this on this broadcast, it's the final time we have to go to the Darien Ice Rink. We will take a break on that note and come back with more of Nutmeg Sports. We love you guys. We'll take a break. Back right after this on the HAN Network. Denali is your outdoor retail destination in the Westfield Trumbull Mall. For the last 21 years, we have carefully selected clothing, footwear, and gear from a variety of the best outdoor brands, such as the North Face, Patagonia, Vineyard Vines, UGG, Merrell, GoPro, New Balance, and many more. Our stores have a friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you with all of your running, hiking, and cold weather needs, and in discovering all things outdoorsy and awesome. Visit us in the Westfield Trumbull Mall or online at DenaliOutdoor.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports. What we have not done this week is talk about Athletes of the Week. We gave you the winners from last week back on Monday, but we haven't told you who is up for it. Now, they are online already, and the voting is already underway, but Don and I didn't get a chance to announce them, so Dave and I will announce them, and we'll get off and running. Since you're all set with them, Dave, I will let you go first, and then we will swap back over to me as soon as I'm ready to go. But, Dave, it's all yours. Take it away.
Start with the boys, name we know well, Eric Vanderels of Brian McMahon. Three championships at the State Open this past week. He won the 1,000, the 1,600, and the 32. We also have from the track meet Tyler Glean of Trumbull. He won the 600-meter run, and he was also a part of Trumbull's relay team, which set a State Open record of the 4x800. Kevin Remston of Norwalk McMahon boys ice hockey scored 5 goals when Norwalk beat Housatonic Northwestern Wamogo 7-5 last week. And Nick Bizzuto, of course, in the game we did, he had 35 saves against Darien that day when Greenwich knocked off Darien 2-1. We also have Charlie Kane of Fairfield Ward Wrestling, was the most outstanding wrestler at the Class LL state meet, winning at 145 pounds. Austin Sherman, Fairfield Ludlow Wrestling, won the state championship at 126 pounds. Ben LeBlanc of Danbury Wrestling, a freshman, he won the 106-pound championship in L. He was the number 3 seed and won that. We also have Terrell Cunningham, going back to track and field. He's from Danbury. He was part of 2 winning relays and finished 3rd in the 600. Danbury won the State Open Championship. And the last boy here is Tyrell Alexander of West Hill boys basketball. Scored 25 points. The Vikings beat Ludlow 56-55. That was their 5th win in a row.
That's what you call teamwork from here at the HAN Network on Nutmeg Sports. I'll take the ladies' side now. Georgia Cassidy is up first from the Darien Blue Wave. She's led Darien in scoring since her freshman year, of course, surpassed 200 career points, 38 goals, 57 points on the season, and we'll see her in a couple of hours. Georgia Cassidy of Darien. Tiana England from Stanford Basketball. Hopefully get a chance to see this young lady play. We haven't had a chance to see her here on the HAN Network. And of course, with the weather situation, we won't get to see her tonight, but we will keep an eye on her. 16 points as number 2 Stanford knocked off number 7 Wilton 51-28 back on Saturday. Deja Polk, we have seen this young lady play. 13 points, 5 assists. Number 1 Ward defeated number 8 Norwalk High 54-42 in the FCAC quarterfinals. Claudia Tucci of Trumbull Basketball has been a rock star all season. 18 points, 9 boards. Trumbull beat Fairfield Ludlow in the quarters 52-34. Jess Camarda, we've seen her as well, the senior point guard. 19 points. The Tigers routed Greenwich 66-40 in the FCAC quarterfinals. Emily Philippides of Greenwich Track and Field, the sophomore, captured a state open title with a first place finish in the 600-meter run Saturday at the Floyd Little Athletic Center. And she ran in 135.72, edging Tullin's Julia Sprout for the top spot. Isaiah Knight of Norwalk Girls Basketball, 17 points. The Bears defeated St. Joe 48-44 to clinch that number 8 seed in the girls basketball tournament. And that rounds out your Athletes of the Week. You want to see how the voting's doing so far? I take a look. And Nick Bizzuto has opened up a 17-point lead on the men's side on Kevin Remsen of Norwalk McMahon. Nick, I will admit to you, is campaigning heavily, and sometimes that's what you've got to do. So solid job there. On the ladies' side, it is Emily Philippides of Greenwich Track and Field. At 44%, she's 16 points better than Claudia Tucci, and that is 12 points better than Isaiah Knight of Norwalk Girls Basketball. So get out, get voting. Lots of votes to be had.
good stuff. Those are all good names, and a lot of those we've seen a couple of times this year too on this list because they've been good.
No, we have. We have seen a couple of them for sure. Where are you going tonight? What's your game plan?
I'm at the girls hockey, so I'll be there. Watching New Canaan play Ridgefield, and I'll
keeping an eye on the boys basketball.
Got to keep an eye on that, and that's just, like I said, a mess right now. I'd like to go to sleep and wake up and have it all be done with and taken care of, and maybe we can get somebody to do it.
It will be a busy night for sure. We will have 2 hockey games for you. Once again, New Canaan and Ridgefield, the 2-3 game at 6 o'clock, followed by the 1-4 Darien against Stanford Westhill Staples. Scheduled for 7:40, they will drop the puck down at the Darien Ice Rink. We implore you, as always, come down and support the athletes in person. Come let them be heard. Make all the noise, have all the fun. Then bring the smartphone, bring the tablet, bring whatever it is you need, and you can watch and listen to us with the call. We want it the best of both worlds. That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. Thanks for joining us for this Wednesday edition. And our thanks to Jamie Tropsa for hopping on as well. For Dave Stewart, Eric Gendron, our entire HAN Network crew, I'm Rob Adams. We'll see you for girls hockey in just a couple of hours. Looking forward to it as we get the playoffs really off and running right here on the HAN Network. But for now, thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports. We'll see you in a couple of hours for girls hockey. So long, everyone.